Hello everyone, welcome back to another sketchbook tour. This is a Stillman and Burn beta series and I really enjoyed finishing off this sketchbook. I finished it in less than a month. It was my first time actually going through a sketchbook that fast. And let's go on in. It lasted from January 27, 2026 to February 25th, 2026. I was trying a starfish and seaweed. I drew the starfishes first, so I was trying to make it like a sea theme, but I don't know why I drew these piano keys. I was talking to someone about the keyboard and I wanted to just include it there. They were drawn first and I later drew the seaweed. Yeah, I like the perspective that I have shown with the starfishes here, how I can see a lot of it here, and as they go further away, this is all I can see. So a lot of it is tombos and watercolors. This page, I drew the outline straight after I finished this page, and I did not come back to it for almost 6 to 7 days. I finished so many spreads after that, but I did not get the courage to do this page. I do not know why. I think I was just overwhelmed by all the detail and everything. And then when I came back with tombos, and I absolutely enjoyed this piece with all the layering and everything. I love the leaves, how much of greens that I have layered along with the browns. It was a beautiful piece. I was taking cards almost every other day, and on that particular by cards I mean medicine cards, and on that particular day I got a jaguar or the Black Panther. I think, yeah, the Black Panther, and I wanted to draw the Black Panther, and I wanted to combine her with a lot of flowers. The bird of paradise are one of my favorite flowers, and I thought I'll pair them with the Black Panther. I love the eyes and this side profile a lot. In fact, those two are my favorite part of this entire page. And then I drew this dog and some flowers and all, and I tried this side profile. I used the Muji pen for that, but in the it was the blue color Muji pen, the 0.38 Muji pen. I loved how I layered the tombos on top of the watercolors. This particular tombow is close to its end. I still use it because I like the texture as I keep layering it. Another one of my favorite spreads in this book. I was trying to pair birds and flowers or animals and flowers for this particular sketchbook, and this cutie pie is my favorite. I love nasturtiums also, especially for their round leaves. Somehow, I don't know why, I love their round leaves. This was another spread. Not very proud of it, but I'm very happy about this fox. I have been trying out most of these pages with either with watercolors or tombos along with pens, like the Pilot V5 pens. I kept giving them their outline after I drew with watercolors, because once you draw with a Pilot V5 pen, if you apply watercolor, it smudges. So yeah, this is a map page and this is a master study, so we'll move on. Okay, I am going to France this June for a retreat with Sophie McPike, and I wanted to practice some spreads. That was also on my mind while I was trying to fill this sketchbook. So I googled and did a pin drop in Dordogne, France, and I landed on with this view, and I painted that in. Tried to Google some flowers and the animals that are animals and birds that are native to that place as well, and I made this spread. I tried a little bit of lettering as well, trying to slowly dip my toe into filling up spreads with if I go out and I try urban sketching or travel journaling, I want to be able to create good spreads. So that was that. And I jumped onto Sophie McPike's Scribble Brigade, and these two landscapes were from her Scribble Brigade. Then I had to take a break from that painting session, and when I came back I wanted to draw some a human. So I drew this, and I really liked how it turned out. And then I went back the next day to Sophie McPike's Scribble Brigade, but another one, and I saw that they were making like 2x2 or 3x3 stamp like artwork, and I really liked the first picture, and I tried that out, but not in that small size. This is a ladybug in that sunflower bud. I'm sorry, my brain seems to have frozen, but yeah. And then I jumped to another Scribble Brigade, and this was the Scribble Brigade that I was searching for. When I landed on this, and then I landed on this, and I finally landed on this one. I could not do a lot of that last year, so when I found this Scribble Brigade, I was overjoyed. Sophie was trying to use dry brush techniques and trying to be more loose, so I really like this one. This was also from the same session. I like this one, and you will see that I jump in and off into that Scribble Brigade because I had to go pick up children, make dinner, so yeah. And I made other art as well in between. This is one such page. I jumped on into a bird. Whenever I don't know what to draw, it is bird and some flower accompanying it. So I used a lot of watercolors and then some tombos on top. I wanted to draw and do became drew. So I wanted to do one more spread. So Torshal Periath is a place next to our home, and I went into Google and saw some of the photos that people had uploaded on Google Maps, and I tried to draw from that and to create a spread, and again some lettering. This is just a lot of practice to try to see if I can create my own spreads with animals and the landscapes, the trees, anything that is very prominent in that particular place. This windmill is a huge structure that can be seen in Torshal Periath, and I love the view from where the windmill is. And this is again a continuation of the Scribble Brigade, and for this I used a lot of tombos, some paint, and eagle line markers or something else, I'm not sure. And then I wanted to do another animal, so I went. Cats seem to be challenging me, so I keep trying them again and again. And this was one such spread. Cats are hard, should practice more. And this was the last piece of the Scribble Brigade, and I absolutely enjoyed drawing this page. A lot of gouache, and I layered one color on top of the other, and I loved the end result. A lot of this whole sketchbook I have not shared anywhere except for that Dordogne, France, which I shared in a Discord page. None of this is shared anywhere, so I was really it helped me be a little more prolific, I think so. I'm not sure to finish a sketchbook completely without sharing it anywhere. I could take like a day's break and still come back and do 2-3 pages at a stretch. When I did it as and when I wanted to make art, or I didn't want to make art, but I I forced myself to make art. There were such moments too, but at the end of that session, that painting session, I would feel so overjoyed and rejuvenated after painting. This is another Scribble Brigade session which I did not complete. And this you would have seen, I mean, if you had seen my previous video, or if you would like to see, I will link it up in the cards. This is the magpie robins that are found so much here in Sweden. And I drew the magpie robin along with some dandelions on my window. Please check out that if you have not seen that video. I really love how it turned out. I realized that I wanted to push some contrast, and I realized that I thought I was not pushing contrast, so maybe not realized. So, and this page happened, the red tombos were really bright, and I used some opera pink also. Not the best of pages, but yeah, I did enjoy layering and trying to push some boundaries. Inspired by this cactus page, I wanted to do one on my own without it being a reference picture, so I compiled a bunch of cacti and try to change the colors that they were seen in the reference, and add my own colors and layer them one on top of the other. A lot of pinks, reds and oranges along with the yellows. I love the swatches. This is a beautiful page. I love the small landscape here and the birds flying away. And yeah, this was a lot of fun, this page. Now this I realized, yes, I was working a lot with greens and not with other colors, so I went completely monochrome on this page. A little bit of purples, yes. This double spread is also one of my favorites. I loved all the colors, like all the shades of various shades of blue. Hues, tints. I'll just leave it at that. And I went back to the greens the very next day and love this pot. I think this is a Chinese money plant, and I had one of those and I wanted to draw, and I found a cup or 3 or 4 references on the net, merged all of it, and I came up with this. And then I wanted to add a bird to it after adding the snail, so I chose different colors on this that were not in this palette, and I drew this bird and then just added those colors into this, so that there'll be some amount of, you know, harmony, like here and here, the pinks and the lavender or lilac. Okay, on to ducks. So these two, I felt, hold their ground, they stand separately, and these two, I wanted them to be like this duck was behind this duck in the same, like in the same lake, but I drew him first and did not have enough space to draw him bigger so that I could also have the shadow here. So it feels like there are 2 separate images clashing in between. I like all of them individually, but I feel they were both fighting for space. Love the reflection though. So to incorporate that, I did this page. This is my all-time favorite in this book, in this sketchbook. I love how I did all that I did here. Try to visualize how he will be inside, trying to search for grub, and having some ducks in the background and a frog and all those lotuses and lotus pads. I used watercolors, some tombos and other markers, and for the lining I used this one, the Pilot G-Tech C4, to line the ducks and the frog. And maybe I did not use anything else. I did not use the V5 Pilot here. these fishes in the background. Oh, I love this page. So I wanted to draw frogs after drawing this little frog. Did not like this one, was not proud of it, so I wanted to draw another one in this small piece of paper, and I liked him so much more. He glitters a bit, shimmers. So, but I didn't want to paste it down and cover him because I wanted to know that that frog can also have its place and this can also have its place. So it's just there in memory of that day. And leafy sea dragons. I love the flow in this piece. I used gouache, watercolors and some Tombows, and I used a little bit of color pencil actually. And more gouache and watercolors. This one is a bunch of tadpoles swimming and swarming away in a pond. I love the reflection, like the light's reflection on the lily pad seen from below inside the pond. I want to create a lot of different perspectives and not just the head-on perspective that I usually attempt all the time. So I tried to make the way like there was a ripple going, a big ripple, and so I tried to use that here. And I was trying a fish tank with a lot of seaweed floating on top of it, and not my favorite of pieces, but I enjoyed working on it because I see that no matter how bad or critical I am about my own art, I see that I learn something out of every piece. Whether I realize it at that moment or not, it does help me in the future. I did a lot of layering on this, so that was fun. And then I drew something on at the base. I think you can see some of the Tombow marks, but I did not like it. So what I did was I swatched my gouache. I had made a huge palette, and I wanted to swatch it, and then I did some lettering. And I drew a frog in the corner. That was also part of the original art, but I scrapped everything else apart from this frog, and I changed his eye position alone, and I made it like he was looking at all these colors and wondering, oh my god, look at the amount of colors this girl is having. She has so much of paint. That is the kind of emotion I was going for. Like, ooh, that's a lot of colors. Are you using it? And then a regular swatch page at the end of it. I really love so much of the art that I made in this book. I enjoyed this sketchbook. I hope you can see how much of joy it brought me. And I hope you love this video. I'll see you all soon in another video. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you are here up until now, I realized that I forgot to introduce myself, and if this is your first video with me, I'm Bhairavi Govindarajan and I am a mixed media artist. Thank you so much for being there. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Bye bye.